Thanks for your time today, Secretary of State. One of the reasons the government is saying it's doing this today is that it will improve attainment and attendance. What analysis has the government seen to that effect?
So there is evidence to support the difference it makes when children are able to concentrate when they've had a good meal. It's part of the reason that we're bringing in breakfast clubs in our primary schools, as well as expanding eligibility for free school meals. This will see benefits for over 500,000 children, and it will lift 100,000 children out of poverty. That is a big step forward and will make a really big difference to parents.
When you say the 100,000 figure, by when? Is that 6 months? Is that the end of the Parliament?
That's over the course of the Parliament, but it's in addition to other measures that we're taking. For example, introducing free breakfast clubs, capping the cost of uniform for parents, and also increasing the minimum wage.
And you've said today that the government's moral mission is tackling child poverty. Your colleague Liz Kendall has said that child poverty is a moral scar. If that's the case, do you think the next step should be scrapping the two-child benefit cap?
I've been clear that nothing's off the table. We're looking at all aspects of the social security system as part of the Child Poverty Task Force that I'm co-chairing with the Work and Pensions Secretary. But it's not a silver bullet, and there are a range of ways in which we can support families to increase their income, and we can support children to no longer be in poverty. We're looking at all of that, and we'll publish the strategy later on this year.
The government has a lot of possible big spend items coming in the future. Defence is a department that's wanting a lot of money. The winter fuel U-turn. While other departments are kind of competing for cash, how are you going to fund this?
So this is over £1 billion over the course of the spending review period. All of this detail will be set out at the spending review next week. It is a big sum of money, and it's a big investment in children and their futures, and in making sure that we tackle child poverty.
In a few months coming down the line, we've got the Child Poverty Task Force publishing its report. Is this move today the first in a big wave of spending to tackle this that your government and your department is going to be bringing in?
The expansion of free school meals to everyone on universal credit is a big step forward. It will be a game changer for parents, and it will lift more children out of poverty. It will put £500 per child per year back into parents' pockets. So it's a big change, but it is part of a wider approach that we are doing across government through the Child Poverty Task Force to think really seriously about how we can ensure that fewer children in our country grow up in poverty, because it is our moral mission as a government. It's my moral purpose to make sure that fewer children have their life chances blighted by avoidable poverty.
So with those big spend items and possibly more spending in this department coming down the line, are there going to be any tax rises that we're going to be seeing in autumn?
The Chancellor set out our position around taxes, and we've already had to make some difficult decisions around taxation at the budget, but that has allowed us to make different choices about investing in our public services, and it includes the announcement today around expanding free school meals. But questions of tax policy will be dealt with in the usual way by the Chancellor.
And so a lot of charities are saying that they want auto-enrolment for this policy. Is that something the government's doing? And if not, why not?
So we're not bringing that forward today, but we are looking at better ways that we can share data between schools and the Department for Work and Pensions, between this department and the Department for Work and Pensions, so that we get a much clearer sense of where families need help. But the change today will make it a lot more simple and straightforward, because everyone knows if they're on universal credit or not. The current system in terms of who's eligible is a lot more complicated, so this will make it a lot simpler for families.
So no auto-enrolment?
We're not setting out auto-enrolment, no, but we are going to make it easier to share data in order to encourage more parents to be able to take this up.
If I could return for a moment to that 100,000 figure, bearing in mind this is one meal a day in term time, in weekdays only, what analysis has the government seen that's led to that, and would the government be able to publish that analysis?
So it's £500 per child per year that will be saved. That's the work that we've done and the analysis that we have. So at the moment you'll have lots of parents who will already be paying for their child's meal at school, but they'll no longer have to pay for it. So that means instead of having to pay for a school meal, they save that money, they can spend that money in other ways. So the analysis that we've done, we're clear that it will lift 100,000 children out of poverty over the course of the Parliament.
And the IFS has said that this will actually be more expensive to the Treasury than scrapping the two-child benefit cap. Are you just doing this because it's more easy politically than the two-child benefit cap?
No, we're looking at every way in which we can lift more children out of poverty, and as I said, the questions around wider social security reform are not off the table, absolutely not. But this is a way in which we know we can lift children out of poverty. We can give a really big boost to families and their household income, and That's why it's been so well received by campaigners, by charities and by parents.
Has the government looked at the impact this might have to help parents just as much as it will help children?
Absolutely. This is a measure that will really help children. It will help with their learning and it will help them in school, but it will also help parents. It puts more money back into their pockets. They will save a huge amount of money, £500 per child per year. That's a big boost to family incomes.